How does God choose which prayers to answer and which prayers to not answer?
Yeah, I mean,
because okay, so let's do a 1-for-1 on this one. I have full faith that this is God's will for this thing to happen, and it's the same thing for somebody else.
Okay.
And then the other person has full faith that this thing will happen, same problem, somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So we're both praying for the same thing for somebody else. God chooses to give the person the thing, and the other person not the thing.
Right.
Why did he do that?
And I think this is and I was just alluding to this earlier, like the fact of like his will, but I want to broaden it out from that.
Okay.
He can see further down the road than we can.
Okay.
And that doesn't make what seems to be an unanswered prayer any easier at times to deal with. But we just have to trust that what God sees down the road is good enough answer. And maybe we'll never know. Like on this, like maybe we'll just never know. But, you know, for some reason, God decides to heal this person and not heal this person. Right? He decides to provide for this person in this moment, but not in the same way for this person.
So it's never up to like, I didn't pray as good as the other person.
I really think that one of the great problems in the Christian church is we have, especially more in the charismatic church, like the word of faith type things, the faith movement. In other words, like if God didn't answer, you didn't have faith. You know, I just think that's really poor, because in their own lives, they have examples of where God didn't answer prayer. So did they not have faith in those times? Right.
Or you didn't pray enough.
Right. And I just don't, I honest to God, don't buy some of that.
Okay.
I just think that we are trusting ultimately in God's will to happen. And I think there's times where all it takes is one person to pray and the will of God happens, right? And someone's healed. But it could be that the will of God for this other person over here is to not heal them. You could have 40,000 people praying for that person and they're still not healed.
Right.
And so, and this is that interesting movement between praying God's will and his kingdom in, and where it just takes one person, two people to pray and boom, it happens, where we don't, you know, you can have all the faith in the world and someone still not be okay. And, you know, and there's a movement that says God's will is for everyone to be healed.
Well, that's not true.
It's just not true. I mean, I wish it was true.
Yeah.
Like, I would like that to be true, but the reality is that's just not the case.
If it was his will, we would have seen that happen to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Or that if you didn't have faith, or if you have enough faith, everyone you pray for will be healed.
No.
And we know that's not reality. So that's where it gets back to, we do have to be sensitive to God's will and God's timing on things, right? Like, even for me, in a very small way, like, I mean, I was prayed for 4 years by people before I actually got healed.
Mm-hmm.
And so were the prayers...
I prayed for you once.
Yeah. Were the people that didn't pray, or the people who prayed for me, like, in year 1, year 2, year 3, were their prayers not as important? Do they not matter? Right?
No, theirs are just at the bottom of the pile. It was that last one
that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tend to, and I do think, to be honest with you, that there can be this like cumulative effect of prayers building up, but I don't want to get in this mode of like, well, if we pray long enough or hard enough, it automatically is going to be that way. No, but I do think that there's a sense of that God hears prayers, but I think he's also going, but I hear you, but not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the answer we get, not a yes or a no, but a not yet.
I'm not listening.
No, I think he loves the prayers, right? Even, I mean, and anytime someone asks, "Can I pray for you?" I'll just be like, "Sure, you can pray for me.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it." And I think you just not like.
Do you ever get worried about? Oh, I didn't even think about this.
You can go for it.
Do you ever, like, if someone did that and said, "Hey, can I pray for you?"
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever be like, "No"? Like, I don't know what you're gonna say, so I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to say.
I see what you're saying.
Like, are you going to pray for my...
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I would probably be okay with pretty much anybody praying for me.
Okay.
I just...
can you just be like, hey, God, I reject that prayer?
Yeah, I just shrug it off.
Okay.
Right? I had someone pray for us one time. My wife and I did. We had someone pray for us that we would have a fourth child.
Oh.
And we were just like, nah. Like, we're like, Lord,
honey, stay away from me.
We're like, Lord, one, that'd have to be a miracle. But then two, you're like, we're really okay.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think, like, for me, I'm cool. You want to pray for me? Good deal. I'm able to kind of just shrug it off if I think it's nonsense.
What if they had said fifth child? And you guys are both looking at each other like...
Like, well, they definitely heard wrong. Yeah. So, but I do know, like, someone asked to pray for someone I do know, and they did look at them and just go, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
I don't know what crazy thing. That's kind of what I don't know what crazy thing you're about to pray.
Yeah.
So I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm good with people want to say that
or
too.
who you're praying to.
Yeah. Now, that could be part of it as well. Yeah. I guess I was thinking about more the mode of like the church, people coming up for me. But yeah, I can understand if you don't always know who people are going. But even with that, I'd be like, Lord, you know what's going on, and I trust you to protect me. And so.